Hi, it's Ashley from Discover Art Therapy. Welcome back to another therapeutic art video. In this series, we're exploring somatic, intuitive watercolor painting techniques. And no, not like skill and perfectionism. We're using watercolor as a way to express our inner world out on our page. And this particular technique that we're about to move into is great for bypassing perfectionism and adding a little bit more flow and fun to your process. With therapeutic art making, we're not focused on what the art looks like or what the final product is going to be. Instead, we're focusing on how we feel and what is elicited inside of us while we're making the art. All you need to get started with this intuitive somatic watercolor technique is a little bit of watercolor paint. I already have my paint palette all set up. You're also going to need some water, some brushes, and I may suggest a little bit of masking tape. I've cut my piece of watercolor paper very small. I am doing a multitude of different techniques on small little pieces of paper, so if yours feels too big or too overwhelming to get started with, cut it down, make it smaller. Sometimes people use masking tape to make a border around the image so that when you peel it off, it's a nice, white, crisp border. But today we actually need a little bit of masking tape either underneath or on top to actually tape it down. I'm going to put mine underneath just so it doesn't move around on my page too much. I'm just going to put a little bit on the back and then put it right down on my page. And when I say this technique is about bypassing perfectionism, oh by golly, you're gonna see in a moment. So grab two paintbrushes. They can be the same paintbrushes, like the same size, or they can be totally different. It doesn't really matter, but you're just going to move one into one hand and one into the other. So we've got our dominant and non-dominant hands both engaged at the same time. What we're going to be doing is essentially a bilateral watercolor painting technique. It can bring up a lot of emotions, especially if you've got a perfectionism lens on life. This is definitely going to bring that up for a moment, but I want you to just witness it, be with it, not judge it, and just see where the process takes you. Let's do it together. You can choose two different colors, you can choose both the same color on both brushes, whatever works for you. This is about you listening to your own heart and your heart's desire. I'm gonna use two different colors, but I think I'm gonna do like a blue and a pink, just because those colors, I don't know, I think that they'll mix together really nicely. And just put your brushes into the paint. Notice the differences between the left hand and the right hand. Maybe you're already noticing one moving more connected to what your brain is telling it to do than the other one. And just, yeah, release the perfectionism. It doesn't matter. We're just noticing. We're just having an experience of noticing. And put your brushes down onto the page wherever you would like to. I'm going to start at the top corner here. And we're going to move through a few different variations. So you can move them down in a line, mirroring each other. Move them away from each other in the same rhythm. You can cross over. You can wiggle, making spirals. Maybe they move in the same direction at the same time. Maybe they move opposite directions at the same time. You might need to pick up more paint like I do here. I'm actually going to switch my colors a little bit more. And just keep going. What is it like to move two hands on the page at the same time? Are you crossing over, letting them move in the same way? Is one on one far side of the page compared to the other one? Just doodle, have fun. It's gonna look quite scribbly. Just wanting you to drop into noticing and enjoying the process of the painting itself, instead of letting any perfectionism chatter show up. I'm noticing my page is getting really colorful quite fast. Sometimes I've done this and there's a lot more white space, but just go until your heart is content. I've decided I want to try it one more time, and I'm going to use a dark color for both my brushes just to go over top of what I've already done here. I'm going to do more swoopy, loopy, floopy lines, not mirroring each other, just letting things flow and creating those bilateral squiggles on my page. Voila! You've got a unique, intuitive watercolor painting here. Very interesting process, hey? I'm sure that this will look different every single time you do it. It will look different with different size brushes, with different colors, and different movements, of course, as well. Techniques like this help us bypass perfectionism because we're tuning back into creation for the sake of creation, making marks for the sake of making marks. And now you can add this bilateral watercolor technique into your back pocket for different intuitive watercolor movements. Don't forget to subscribe and follow along to all the other intuitive somatic watercolor techniques I'm teaching you here on this page. As always, thank you so much for watching, thank you so much for making art, and we'll see you again in the next video. Bye for now!